So let me show you some of our multifamily work just so that you can see some before and afters and kind of tell how you can take these B and C class properties and really make the leasing office in particular look like an A class leasing office. So let's start with the leasing offices. So here's one that's in the DFW area of Texas. This is the before of the leasing offices. And this is what we most commonly see is where it's very bland looking. Probably the owner that had it before just went and bought some furniture at a furniture store and put it in there. Or sometimes they bring their furniture from home that they're not using anymore and put in here. Just very, very bland, and making it look like a really dramatic lounge. That's what we do. We want this first impression space when people come in to be super dramatic, memorable when they're looking at other apartments. That 15 seconds of when they first walk in thinking, oh, this is very cool, I might want to live here. That's what we need to separate, your property from everybody else's property in this way. Here's another one. This one, there was some remodeling done. So they were taking out some walls, kind of changing the flooring a little bit. And then we sold all the furnishings for the space. So we picked the paint, we helped with the fireplace tile. And this is a good thing to look at, little things like this, where this was no tile around the fireplace. It was super bland. Adding this one little section of tile, which is not that expensive to do, really highlights it. It creates a vertical line to make that wall appear taller, because when you have these angled ceilings that get shorter like this makes it feel really short on this side. So if you can do a vertical line and pull that up, pull your eye up, that really helps. Plus the texture is interesting. It's a graphic detail. It's kind of shiny. It adds a different texture to the space. So that's an inexpensive thing that you can do in any leasing office. Also changing the color of the wall and having an accent wall. Darker walls push the wall away from you, which is the opposite of what you would think. Darker walls make spaces look larger because they push the wall out. Lighter colors come towards you. So I always tell girls, like when you wear white pants, you feel like you're fatter. When you wear black pants, you feel like you're skinnier. And that's because your eyes are drawn to white first. That's where your eye will always go first. So any lighter color comes towards you and darker colors go away from you. So we use that when we're looking at multifamily to try to make sure that we're enhancing the architecture that's there and to create, drama and contrast in spaces. The lighting is also extremely important. Overhead lighting, which is up here, casts shadows on your face and on everything that you do, makes people look old and tired and not so great. So we want to always add mid-level lighting, which is here with the floor lamps or table lamps, also the chandelier. That starts lighting the room properly, and people just feel much better in those kind of spaces. So those are subtle things, but they change the way that people feel when they walk into a space. And all those things are important. Here's another one. This was a little bit of a remodel also. This was attached to a gym over here. It was like an open window. So we knew people would come out of the gym and sit in this lounge. And we wanted to make sure that all this furniture could be sat on with sweat. So we chose, pieces for that. So this is another good example of very modern design. That's really what the trends are going forward. We've had it for maybe 10 years now, and still going forward, we're seeing very modern. We are trending a little bit away from grays though, and going more into browns again. So I'll show you a couple pictures later that show that. But in this case, we wanted to add drama to the space. They talked about taking these beams down, and we ended up saying, no, let's just keep them and paint them silver, but we painted the ceiling dark so they just popped out against it. We painted these columns black to make that architecture pop out. So again, this is not a high-end property at all, but this leasing office looks like an A-class property, and that's what you want. It's not that expensive to do, and it makes a huge difference in the way the potential residents feel when they come in. It also makes a big difference in the way the current residents feel about renewing. And then the third thing, we call it kind of the trifecta, is that the on-site staff loves working in a space that looks this great. It makes it easy for them to rent the units.